Let's do the case of the Choleh. All right, so let's go over the Gemara again. You got your Morning Vuchim up over there. Yeah.
You want to record that part again?
I did. That's okay. All right, so let's do the Gemara again. Right, Chaf Aleph. But and then in order to understand the Gemara, we have to. There's one Havamina question I left off with yesterday before I took my son to the doctor, and then and you'll see how that question is the important question. So the Gemara says Cholim and Misham Shem, right? So Tanar Banan, right in the middle of Chaf Aleph. Tanar Banan, Cholesh Amru. So the Choleh we're talking about, lo Choleh sheish bo sakana. So we're not talking about a Choleh that's life-threatening, obviously. El afilu Choleh she'ein bo sakana. Afilu chash be'einav, afilu chash be'rosho. So even if I have a headache, I'm pater from Sukkah. That's a very strange idea. Why should you be pater from Sukkah? Why should you be pater from Sukkah? So the question is that how does the patur emerge from the fact that I am sick? So I have a headache. So what? So what? Yeah, no, I have a headache. So why should I be pater from Sukkah? Let's twist the question a bit. Look at the Meiri. That's how this page is here. Take a look at the Meiri. So Meiri makes it a little worse. He says, because let me ask another question. Okay, the other question, the question you have to ask in this Havamina is that, well, what if the Sukkah? What if he be better off in the Sukkah? Okay.
It's the same thing we have yesterday.
Let's have a headache.
Yeah.
Guy says, listen, I want some air. Goes out to the Sukkah, feels better. So look at the Meiri says.
What do you mean? So why not? Oh,
hold on.
You're saying he can't go into the Sukkah?
No. Hold on. Kvar bi'arnu shalosov davar b'cholah sheish bo sakana shepater min Sukkah ela af b'she'ein bo sakana v'lo od ela afilu chash v'rosho be'einav o be'ever me'ivara pater hu mishamshav u'mitztaer hu pater u'mishamshav chayav. I'm fine. So 1 second. So where does he say?
Bucky? Why does it say Bucky?
1 second. What does the Meiri hold? Okay. What does the Meiri hold? The Meiri holds that he holds that what? He says that the only time you be putter is if being in the sukkah would make your headache worse. Okay. In other words, when you putter, you would hold your only putter if the situation of sukkah makes it worse. Okay. That's clear from the Meiri. I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't have that there. If you look at the Rambam though, what does the Rambam say? The Rambam never makes any qualification. He just says in number 3, he says Cholim Shamshem Turim Sukkah, Lo Chol Sheish B'Sukkah El Afilu Chash Rosho Afilu Chash Be'einav, and then he says Mitztaer is also pater from Sukkah. All right, and he says now look what he says. Ve'ezu hu Mitztaer.
Wait. It says Mitztaer.
Ve'ezu Mitztaer Zeh she'einu yachol lisham B'Sukkah Min Ruach Min Azvuvim, etc., etc. So but he doesn't make any qualification by a Choleh. So the Rambam clearly holds that it wouldn't make a difference. The question is, what's the nature of the patur, just factually? Is it that I'm only patur if the situation of sukkah would make it worse, right? And that's why I'm patur? Or is it no? Once I'm sick, even if the sukkah would make it, if the sukkah would make it better, it's irrelevant. I'm patur from sukkah, right? So how do you resolve this? And why are you patur from sukkah if you're sick? Why are you patur from sukkah if you're sick? So clearly the patur emerges from the makom itself. It has nothing to do with him.
Yes.
Right? The makom is so okay. So now how is that different than Mitztaer?
Because that's him. That's his own.
No, Mitztaer, he's fine. In the house.
He doesn't care about him. What does it mean? See, this is where things get interesting. This is where Yaakov, listen to this. Listen, this is important because what you were saying before. In other words, the Meiri is going to say the Rambam is going to be easy. You'll see in a second why. But the Meiri is interesting. The Meiri is going to have to say as a first step that the source of the patur comes from the makom of the sukkah. How do I know that? Because as long as the makom is a place that makes things worse, I'm pater. But if it doesn't make things worse, if it's neutral or better, I'm still chayav to be in there. So clearly, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the makom's relationship to me. Now, the problem with that, though, is that's very similar to Mitztaer. So how does he differentiate from Mitztaer? He does. There is something about this case. There's something about this case of the Choleh that's different than Mitztaer.
Okay.
It's a din in the Gavra. In other words,
is that pure Mitztaer? There's nothing pre-Sukkah.
Right. No,
I don't know. Put this.
What's a Choleh according to the Rambam? Define a Choleh for me versus a Mitztaer.
When you feel sick.
Is it the
Correct.
Gavra you're saying?
Therefore, what? Now express it insofar as what Sukkah is. Yeah. He's Choleh. Mitztaer is not a state in the Gavra. Right? I am feeling Mitztaer. Choleh is a state in the Gavra. So what is that? If I'm a Choleh means what?
Can't even Mekayim
It's simple. No, it's a simple thing. If I'm defined as a Choleh, I'm pater no matter what. So what does that mean? It means that I'm someone who's
you're not a dar.
Oh, good. Okay. So therefore, I'm not defined as someone who do dira. It precludes my ma'aser dira. A Choleh means I am someone who's no longer. I'm removed from the area of dira.
Fine.
Simple as that. That's it didn't me. There's no Maisadira in my framework anymore.
Clean. Now
Okay?
what's the
The
Meiri?
Meiri's the problem. What does the Meiri hold?
To him, Mitztaer has to be purely from the Sukkah. To be called, well, first of all...
But how is it different than Mitztaer? According to the Kashi asking the Meiri now is that...
According to the Meiri, a Gavra?
Say it again?
Is it Gavra?
No. Oh, Mitztaer, no. Everyone agrees. The cases, no. The
It's
cases...
just what you're feeling at the time.
The cases in the Gemara are all cases of what by Mitztaer?
What,
All cases of all cases. There's bugs.
Circumstantial.
It's too hot. It's always something in the makom. So now he's saying
not
by the case of
not inherently,
the he's
depends.
saying by the case of the Choleh, it's also the makom makes it worse. So
Always or
you're putter as long as the makom makes it worse. If it doesn't make it worse, you're chayiv. So what kind of thing is that? What kind of thing is that? I'll show you. If you're telling me that Mitztaer means that that you're saying what it emerges from the sukkah, so that would definitely include if it amplifies it for sure. I would learn that one from the other. You won't need a case of Choleh.
It's independent.
You don't need to say this, but I'm just letting you know. If you look, you could argue. I'm not saying this is not. It's like a raya from I think my approach. But you do see the Gemara does start off by saying Choleh and then Mitztaer to imply almost to say, and so those middle cases transition from Choleh to Mitztaer, almost as to tell us Choleh is the real category and Mitztaer emerges from it. But what the Meiri is saying is the exact opposite on the surface. So what is he telling us? How would you construct it to show that Choleh is the primary case and Mitztaer is the secondary case? That's what I want to know. That's the challenge here, the logical challenge. How do you answer that?
Well, it seemed it just struck me.
You gotta understand.
It's interesting that a Choleh.
The sukkah itself. What's the Mitztaer?
Flies.
Which just means what?
Something in the sukkah.
Thank you. It's not the sukkah. It's a feature of the sukkah. That's why one works from the other. Now there was a difference. What the Meiri is going to have to say to get out of this problem is he's going to have to differentiate Choleh from Mitztaer. How? So I think the answer is like this. The approach is that by the Choleh, as Tamir put it really well, there's nothing specific about the sukkah that's making him feel worse. What's making him feel worse? The sukkah. The very sukkah itself is the makom dira itself is the problem. Being in this makom, right? But by the case of the Mitztaer, so that's the cloud. By the case of the Mitztaer, it's not that the sukkah is the problem, but there's a feature of the dira that's presenting the problem to him. There's mosquitoes there. It's not the sukkah. He has no problem being in this hut. But there's something about the hut itself. There's a feature in the hut that's preventing him from being able to enjoy it. That's the difference. And that's why, by the way, it works out beautifully called the Meiri. Because the klal is the Choleh. Because the Choleh is what case? The whole makom. But you wouldn't learn out Mitztaer from that naturally. Mitztaer is a chiddush because Mitztaer is telling you even if a feature of the sukkah is a problem, that can make you pater. But they're two different categories. One is where the makom itself is the source. There's nothing specific about the sukkah. It's just being in this hut, per se. Whereas by the Mitztaer, it's not being in the hut. It's because there's flies in the hut. Flies in the hut is a feature of the hut.